The Edmonton Oilers have made it officially official. They have signed Leon Driaisaitl to an 8-year extension that comes with an AAV of $14 million. The deal is done. The deal is signed. I heard Leon Draisaitl. I believe he flew back into Edmonton on Friday, and as expected, it took very, very little time for this thing to get finalized. It is and who knows the minutia of the contract itself. We saw Seth Jarvis over the weekend sign a deal with deferred money. We don't know if that's happening right now with Leon Draisaitl, but all that matters is that it is an 8-year deal, and he will be an Oiler until he is 38 years old. A massive piece of business to get done, and excited to go live here to discuss the show. Welcome in, everybody. I know it's been a long time since we've done one of these as well, so hope you all had a good long weekend. Hit us up in the Greta Bar Yeg YouTube chat with your thoughts on the deal. And don't worry, yes, Liam will be around soon. He's just driving into the office right now, but Liam will be around too, and we'll break this whole thing down. The Edmonton Oilers, yeah, oh, Jesus. I got bit hard by this one from Sailor. Yikes. That's a tough look for me. Tough look for me. I was also on a golf trip all weekend, so I'm not exactly the most clean-shaven individual in the world right now. But we're going to break it all down, everything pouring in as Draisaitl officially signs. You guys were fired up in the chat, Sean, with a nice LFG for our first comment. Colton's in with just a handful of exclamation points. Dry got signed. 8.5 by 8 from Vern. Yeah, I mean, listen, people, I get there might be some people who kind of scoff at the money on this thing here and go like, whoa, he is the high by AAV. Leon Draisaitl is the highest paid player in the NHL right now. And I think some people are going to maybe roll their eyes on that a little bit and be like, well, he's not the best player. This is happening in every sport right now. I mean, go look at the NFL. I mean, is Jordan Love not getting like the biggest contract for a quarterback? This is just the way it's going now that the salary cap's going to keep jumping up. And Leon Draisaitl played on, a good contract for the last however many years, 8 years of his career, right? And I struggle with people calling it a value because at the time it was signed, it's not like Draisaitl took less money on that $8.5 million deal. Like at the time that was signed, everyone was sitting there being like, whoa, this is a massive risk. He better be worth it. He better turn in to a play driving top line star level player. And what happened was he turned into a superstar level player. So yeah, for 5 years of that deal, it looked like an absolute bargain, right? But I still struggle with calling it a value deal. The people who said, the Oilers owed him one because of that contract, I don't buy that at all. The Oilers paid him very well on his second deal. And $14 million, is it, the value, maybe, I'm taking less to help the team win deal that maybe some of us, including myself, were hoping it would be? Like, my guess this whole time was 13.5. I was sitting there for a little bit going, maybe he really takes a bargain. And as some reports, I know Frank had one a few weeks ago that eventually as the negotiations went on, he changed. But he said for a while he thought maybe it was going to be cheaper than expected. So I was like, okay, maybe he's going to take like 13.29 and he's going to come in really low on this thing. But again, let's be honest, this is hardly a negotiation. If you're the Edmonton Oilers and you're in the spot that you are in right now, and Leon Draisaitl says, I want $16 million. You don't sit there and not sign Leon Draisaitl because he wants an extra $2 million. Like, in a way, he had a bit of a blank check in this situation. So $14 million is still good because, again, if you wanted to squeeze Leon Draisaitl, like, walk down that path, he heads into the season without a new deal. He maybe goes through the next year's playoffs and into next summer, and you risk losing him a year before his best friend Connor McDavid is also scheduled to hit unrestricted free agency, and you're just not going to run that risk. So, I give basically every side a ton of credit in getting this deal done quickly and with no drama. If either one of them wanted to play some sort of game through the media, what would we have been hearing for the last 2 months? Either the agent or the team would be leaking out they are far apart. The Oilers don't want to make him the highest paid player in the NHL. Leon Draisaitl wants to set the market for others. You would have been hearing something on either side of this either side of this negotiation, but you didn't. We went into the summer. All we heard was, hey, Jeff Jackson's fine. He wants to wait till the GM's name. Draisaitl's agent came out, had that one interview where he said, hey, no one's worried. We're going to get a deal done. He's going to be an Oiler. So they kicked their feet up. They took care of the rest of their business for the rest of the summer. And presumably they started negotiations a week or two ago, probably. And it was like, hey, what's the number he wants? This is where we feel comfortable. Look, it's $14 million and it's done. This is really, really a win-win. And again, not that the Oilers got a win in the sense of a massive piece of value, but this isn't leaking into the training camp. Never mind the new season. This isn't leaking into training camp at all. Massive win. You don't have that storyline going around. You don't have that floating in. You don't have Draisaitl coming out after a preseason game doing his post game being like, hey, the new deal. You didn't have an annoying little media circus surrounding it. That is a massive, massive win. Okay. For Draisaitl, you're locked up and you just got paid. You're the highest paid player in the NHL until the next superstar signs his contract. And that next superstar could very well be Connor McDavid, unless like a Mikko Rantanen beats him to the punch and the Avalanche pay out the nose for Mikko Rantanen. But you're probably going to be the highest paid player in the NHL until Connor McDavid signs his next deal. That's a win for Leon Driaisaitl. You're locked in Edmonton. Edmonton avoided any sort of media circus. And guess what? Do you really think 10 months from now, when Connor McDavid is eligible for his extension, that he wants to be anywhere but with Leon Driaisaitl? What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.